This year is going to be NASCAR's 75th season, and it's a pretty big deal to be honest. NASCAR has tons of history, as well as tons of changes and tons to look forward to in the future. So today, I want to look at how NASCAR, the broadcasters, drivers, team owners, whoever, can make this season a special one, can celebrate 75 years of the sport. Starting out, I want to look at how the sport is presented with the broadcasts. See, the broadcasts, in my opinion, are one of the most important aspects of the sport. It introduces a new fan, it keeps a current fan informed, and it makes fans more invested, or if it's bad, less invested. But I think that the broadcast doesn't get celebrated enough and is the unsung hero of the sport. So, to really sing the praises of it, I think that NBC and Fox should do throwbacks to previous broadcasts in a certain way. For instance, for the throwback race itself, I think NASCAR and Fox should have the old group back together. Mike Joy, Larry Mack, Darrell Waltrip, maybe bring Dick Berggren back to the pits for a one-off, and have old graphics. For NBC, have Wally's World come back. Have old graphics from like 2005 and 6, maybe the earlier ones. Have fuel play beforehand. Different things that can make longtime fans feel nostalgic, but also show newer fans how it was like back in the day. These broadcasts made a lot of us current fans today what we are when it comes to how loyal we are to the sport and how we watch, and I think that that should be shown. Plus, I think in a lot of ways, newer broadcasts can learn from older ones. We don't always need yelling or constant talking. We could have old segments come back so that the broadcast can breathe. There's something to be said about looking to the past to see maybe where you can improve, what stuff has fallen off over the years. And maybe, if some of these things are implemented, maybe some of them will stick for a while. Next up, I think that there should be a special car or truck. Doesn't matter the series, at the track every single weekend, no matter where they are. If it's standalone event, so be it. If it's of an event with a triple header, so be it. Because I think in this respect, we could have it like how, for instance, the 3 was with Richard Childress, or the old 8 Busch car with Dale Earnhardt Jr., as well as plenty of others. Teach about the past as well with this, while also giving fans in the stands something to look forward to each week. I'm telling you now, I would love if I found out, for instance, going to North Wilkesboro, that old cars, Richard Petty cars, Dale Earnhardt cars, old Rainbow Warrior Jeff Gordon cars, and everything else in between were gonna be at the track, on the track for me to see in person. I wasn't lucky enough to watch Richard Petty or Dale Earnhardt race. I only watched Jeff Gordon in the years that he had the flame car. I didn't get to really see up close, for instance, Tony Stewart's orange 20 car much more than a year or two. I would love to see all these kind of cars on track. I'd love to see old school 1940s, 1950s cars on track that many fans probably have never even heard of. That would be, in my opinion, an amazing thing at the track to attend, and something you could always say, I was there for. You could have people 20, 30 years from now jealous of you for being there simply for having one car or truck. Have a definitive list as well of the best 75 drivers. I know that lots of people and entities are doing this, but I think that it's really only Cup heavy that they're doing it with. And there's so many drivers in NASCAR's history, whether it's on the Modified Tour, the Truck Series Tour, Xfinity Racing, that, in my opinion, deserve recognition as some of the best drivers ever. You don't need to be a Cup driver to be considered one of the best drivers in NASCAR. I think that in a lot of ways, having something like this, like the 50 greatest drivers in 1998, would be a really cool way of pushing a lot of people to the forefront who may have been forgotten for their great contributions to the sport. Celebrate all of those that got you 75 years of great history to build on into the future, and teach younger fans about these greats so that fans in general have a greater understanding of the sport's history. Also, have a throwback scheme for every race. At least one car have a throwback. Because while we have the Darlington Throwback Weekend where everybody can do it, it would be a really cool storyline to follow to see how the throwback car is performing each week. Whether it's a 3 car that's going back to Dale Earnhardt, maybe Kyle Busch throwing it back to Dale Jr., Chase Elliott throwing it back to his dad in the 9, no matter which font it was. Go back and see what schemes can be done with this. And you could even, for the networks, make it a sponsored segment to sell more ad space and have less commercials if you can do so. You can have so many ways week to week to follow this to keep fans engaged. And again, it's something cool at the track to say, hey, I was there to see that car. And I think it'd be really interesting, especially if you could keep it a secret, to figure out or find out which drivers each week were running the throwback scheme. Now, for my last point, I might get cheesy or just give a no-duh answer for many. But the greatest way that you can celebrate NASCAR's 75 years of racing? Just have great racing. NASCAR racing has been some of the most exciting forms of sports in the world in its 75 years running. We've seen amazing finishes, heart-stopping moments, tragic moments, everything in between. We have got the gauntlet when it comes to moments of any given sport. Hell, we had the Hail Melon last year. And in the 50th season, there was one of the greatest moments ever at the start, with Dale Earnhardt finally winning the Daytona 500. Now, I don't expect something like that to be done this year, but you never know. I just think having great racing in general, showcasing what makes NASCAR great, is what matters. The championship, you can take it or leave it. The Final Four, the playoffs, all of that stuff, fans can be divided on. But what fans can be connected on is seeing a great show. Seeing drivers put it on the line for the great prize. Seeing the old guard versus the new guard. Seeing those in the lower series scrapping and clawing their way up to try and get just a little piece of the cup pie. Everything about the sport can be shown in great racing. And that's all I ask for in NASCAR's 75th season. These other things I talked about, those would be amazing. I just want to see a great race. Now with that, I want to pass it all on to you and ask you the simple question. What do you want to see out of NASCAR's 75th season? Let me know down in the comments below. While you're at it, leave a like on this video, share this video, and subscribe to my channel for more great NASCAR content. Thank you so much to all my channel members for your continued support. And until next time, have a good one.